Good morning, class. We're going to build our dice, right? Our exact copy of a Monopoly dice, sort of like this. We're going to work on the 4 and 5 sides today. You may already have some other sides done. First things first, bring out your ruler tool. For me, in this process, it doesn't quite matter where you put that in the screen, but just have it on there. Next thing, if you haven't already done it, you should be measuring your dice. Should come out to about 16 millimeters. Okay, you may have a smaller, bigger dice, but somewhere around there. So only measured one side. There's a reason for that, right? Think about the properties of this dice as a cube, of this die, or dice as a cube. Um, so the height, width, and length of the faces should be equal. Now, I've already went ahead and changed the radius to a small number like 1.5 because without it, you can see it's nice and sharp on the edges. We want just a little bit of rounding there, not too much. Too much rounding, like put it at like 5 or 6, you can see it starts turning into like a circle, sphere. Just a little bit of rounding. And to keep it from being really chunky, I raise the steps so you can see the chunks there. Raise the steps up to as many as I can. Okay. Now that I have my cube, the next step are the pips, the holes, and we're making the 4 or 5 side. So I'm going to bring in, I like using the half spheres. Some other people like spheres. Go ahead and pick your favorite. And then we're going to shrink these guys down, holding shift. You can shrink that, wrong shift button. Shrink that down to the correct size. Also flip it over, which is helpful. And we'll worry about raising it up in a second. I'm going to face this side so it makes it a little easier. If you haven't measured the pips yet, go ahead and measure pips as well. They should be coming out to about 3.5 to 4 millimeters. So that goes in here as well. And depth-wise, you don't want to make this thing too long or it'll run into the other ones. Right now it's set at 4.7. I'm going to take the depth down to about 2.5 or 3 millimeters. Pretty not too deep because you don't want it to connect with the other sides. We're going to raise it up. We want 4 of these, right? And we're going to push it back in there so it meets the face. Now you might notice that it is, let me get over here on the grid, it is moving too much. So I'm going to change the snap grid down. And we can align this on the face as well, right? With the forward, make sure they're both, it is just aligned now with the grid, or with the face. Want 4 of these, right? So I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to hold control and push up and slide that up to what looks like a nice amount of space. You may choose to move these up or down a little bit. I like these 2. Now I'm going to group them. I'm going to group them so that I can align them in the face. And then I'm going to duplicate them and bump them over so we can get the 4 side here. Now you might be looking at it, looks a little bit too narrow at the time. So I think I'm going to take these 2, move them a little wider, move these 2 a little wider, something possibly like that. You may even choose to ungroup these and bump them out a little more too. The cube is being a pain in the butt. I'm going to bump it back 1 click. I'm going to ungroup all these. They're nice and aligned though. So I'm going to take these 2, choose them together as a group, hold control, click up a couple times, hold control, hold shift, choose both of them, hold control, click down maybe once, like that, spacing better. I'm going to choose all 4 now, group them, and I'm going to choose the cube, and I'm going to align them in the center, and align on the front face. So now all 3 alignments should be ready to go. it is ready to group and cut those holes. But before I do that, I'm going to duplicate this and save it. Give me a guess why I might be doing that in the comments. So group it. Now we have the 4 side done. Turn it around. Flip this 90 degrees. You can line that up with the face as well. And all you're missing is one more of these pips and you are done with the 5 side, right? So that is the reason that I duplicated it. I'm going to ungroup for a sec. Duplicate one of these, control, move it down. Actually, I'll teach you another trick here. If you want it to be dead center, easiest way would be to just click on it. You already have the other one centered. Click on the cube, choose Align tool. You don't even have to move it around, right? It will find the center for you. Now that you have it centered, you could choose all of these again and group. Again, before I cut the hole, I'm going to duplicate that. Oh, whoops, I grouped the wrong things there. Undo that before I cut the holes. Take a step back, apologies. Group the 5 holes together, duplicate it, send it out to the side, save it for another side, right? Now align these to the front and group. All right, you're now on your way. You have 2 of the hardest sides done. Go ahead and finish the rest of the sides. This is Mr. L and the Dice Challenge.